Hi, everybody. Welcome to the table. It's me, your pal Anton at Comicon.com, your everyday comic convention. And today we are here to talk about a new upcoming series from Dark Horse Comics called Jump Scare. I have with me the Sultan of Scare, the high hat of horror, if you will, the illustrious Cullen Bunn. Welcome to the table, Cullen.
Hey, Anton. Look, that energy, man. I'm telling you right now, the energy. It may be too much. I'm not
A
sure.
little too much.
No, that's all right.
Rational.
It's all right. It's perfect. It may be too much for me on this blustery cold day, but
Well, it's cold there, right? It's you guys just got some serious snow, didn't you?
yeah, I had travel plans that have been drastically derailed because of snow. So
I'm sorry. Well, hopefully
that's all
the
right. It happens. It's
the
life.
warmth from my heart of this upcoming title will hopefully keep you comfortable in these cold and frigid days. Because we're here to talk about Jump Scare, which is a blast. Jump Scare is it's who's your artist on that one? Danny.
Danny
Uh,
Luckert. Yeah,
yeah, Danny
Danny
Lucker.
Luckert, who I worked with. I did a book called Regression with Danny. He did a story in my series Shock Shop. And he did the book Beyond Mortal, which was sort of the prelude or the preceding book to Jump Scare.
So let's get into the big picture, and then we'll jump down to Jump Scare. I did not intend that to be a pun. So the big world beyond mortal. Talk to us about that. Like it's a superhero, it's a horror. Like what's going on with Beyond Mortal?
Well, so for years, and I mean for decades, I wanted to do a story that was it had all the qualities of golden age superheroics in it. So we have characters who are these archetypes that are very easily recognizable, and I wanted to create my own pantheon of superheroes, and then I wanted to at the same time create my own pantheon of elder gods who were invading that world. So Beyond Mortal was an original graphic novel that it's available from Dark Horse, and it is the story of this group. The easiest way to describe it is if the Avengers or the Justice League were fighting the Cthulhu mythos, and that's sort of the story of Beyond Mortal.
And I mean, I dig that because it's like you see a lot of the traditional superhero tropes. So getting to see like the Cullen Bunn eldritch strangeness, right? The Carcosa of Gotham, as it were, come to the sort of the forefront. I mean, that's exciting because you get your superhero flair and your horror flair to kind of come into play. And Jump Scare kind of really lives in that dual space between horror and superheroism. Can you kind of dig into what Jump Scare's abilities are and sort of where they come from?
Yeah, well, with Jump Scare, we wanted to do, or we always knew with Beyond Mortal, we wanted to create a bigger universe. So there were other characters in this universe. And we wanted those characters, we wanted people to be able to read stories of those characters without even whether they had read Beyond Mortal or not. It takes place in the same world, stands completely on its own. But Jump Scare came about from me just considering what would, in a world of superheroes and horror, what would a Harley Quinn look like? What would Deadpool look like? And Jump Scare is very much our Harley Quinn, our Deadpool, our Tank Girl. And I was sitting at a bar one night typing up concepts of Jump Scare, and I sent it to Danny Luckert. And I'm not sure this was the time frame, but it really felt like he immediately like somehow spawned an image into reality and sent it back to me. Um, and it just really cemented the character. So Jump Scare was an ordinary, average girl who loved all things horror movies. She was the biggest horror movie fan in the world. And one night she accidentally, as you do, stumbles into contact with this thing from somewhere else, from another reality. And it breaks her mind and changes her. She finds very quickly that she's stronger than a normal human now, and she's more durable than a normal human. She's faster. She can teleport to any spot where no one is looking. So she has the ability to teleport around. But her most unique ability is that Jump Scare, thanks to her connection with Eldritch energies, can conjure into reality any weapon from any horror movie she's ever seen. And she's seen a lot of horror movies. So she can just reach out, and then this horror movie weapon will appear in her hand, and she wields it with deadly efficiency. So what do you do when you have these powers? You become a vigilante, of course. So she's a super slasher, a vigilante in the city of Empire City, and somehow she becomes a viral sensation. She becomes the most popular superhero, most popular blood drenched superhero in the world.
I love that. No, like, so it has to be a movie that she's seen that she
Yes.
pulls the weapon from.
Yes.
Do you have a personal favorite weapon from any horror
I
movie
don't know.
that you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, it would probably for me in Phantasm 2, Reggie welds together two sawed-off double barrel shotguns, and that's got to be my favorite. The Phantasm series is full of amazing weapons. I mean, the Sentinel orbs and all that's all great, but I do really like that quad barrel sawed-off shotgun. But I will say that in Jump Scare, one of the things that was a lot of fun in writing Jump Scare is, look, I don't want to get sued by a bunch of filmmakers. So all of the weapons she conjures are from movies that don't exist. But we name the movie, we date the movie, so I got to name all these crazy weapons that she manages to conjure up, and I named the movie and the year it came out. So there's a whole history of movies that have never existed that are popping up through the pages of Jump Scare. I mean, there's like, I spit on the dead clown's grave and things like. There's just a lot of horror movie, and there are nods obviously throughout to slasher and horror movies from our world. But they are definitely movies that did not exist. There are some original concept sketches somewhere never published that Danny did that has Jump Scare with like Freddy Krueger's glove and like Jason's mask and a machete from Friday the 13th. So there are some callbacks to that in Jump Scare's DNA, but we knew we couldn't necessarily put these trademarked images in the comic.
That's awesome though.
Which was great.
It really builds
it gave me the chance to create some new things.
And you've already, Jump Scare comes from this larger universe, right? This beyond mortal reality. So being able to have these movies just makes the universe even more kind of grounded. It gives whatever the pop culture in that space, it gives that even more depth. So I think that's super cool. Like, that's a rad way to go about it.
And there are still loads of Easter eggs for the horror movie fan. There are so many Easter eggs to so many horror movies in this. So many horror movies that exist in our world. There are so many horror movie Easter eggs that you'll be able to find as you read the book.
That's amazing. Now, so the first Jump Scare, is it an ongoing? Is it going to be a mini series? What's the first arc look like?
So it's a 4-issue miniseries. That's kind of become the standard for Dark Horse, is this 4-issue miniseries. And it tells a complete story. It's got its own, it's got a beginning, middle, and end. And but yeah, I would definitely like to tell more Jump Scare stories.
Now, I've seen some art floating around, and it looks like there's maybe some exclusive covers that people might be able to chase down. What can you tell me about those?
Yeah, there is an exclusive cover by Layla Lays and Bill Crabtree did a cover for me. You can only get it from me, and you can only get it from my website, or if you see me at a convention. So it's available right now on my website at cullenbunn.com. You can order the exclusive. And when they're gone, they're gone. I'm not gonna, it's not something that'll stay in print. It's just something I did because I like the book so much. I kind of commissioned a cover of my own for it.
That's awesome, though. I mean, that's a cool chase thing that collectors will be able to get a hold of. And as someone who's read issue 1, it's definitely going to be one of those awesome Cullen Bunn out of the park books. I'm a fan
Well,
of it.
it's the most fun I've had writing a comic in a long time. I mean, this character. Uh, Look, it's tough to get readers' eyes on anything new these days. Um, this is a character I really feel strongly deserves some attention, and I think people will really like her. I think if you like horror movies, you're gonna like her. If you like superheroes, you're gonna like the book. If you just like fun, you're gonna like this book, uh, because it's just I mean it is it's to me it's pure bloody fun on the page, and I just had such a great time with it.
That's awesome, man. I was gonna ask you before we wrapped if you could give me like a pitch for the book if I was going to come up to the table at a convention, but I don't know that you could put it any better than that. I mean, pure bloody fun
It,
on the page. Like,
yeah, I mean it's a what if a horror movie slasher became a superheroic vigilante, and that's what and goes around killing monsters and criminals and things like that. So that's what we're dealing with here.
that's awesome, man. I appreciate it. I think this is a rad book. I think everybody should pick it up. When does it hit stands?
So it hit stands a week from in a week. So I think that's what February 24th or 25th.
25th, yeah.
Yeah, February 25th or so is when it hits the stands. It'll be available at comic book stores everywhere. If they don't have it on the shelf, they can get it until it sells out at a distributor level. Um, but yeah, it'll be out in the wild as of that time.
That's awesome, man. Well, we will when the series starts to wrap, we'll get back together and talk about what a bloody good time the run was. But I
All right,
appreciate you
sounds
taking the
great.
time. Thanks for
Yeah, of
talking to me
course.
today, man.
Thank you.